Welcome to the second video in my anxiety series, where I'm going to talk about why we need to befriend our anxiety. Now, even as I say this, I know most of you are probably like, I'm not going to do that. Truly, I get that you all want to reduce your anxiety, but give me a chance to explain that by actually starting to approach our anxiety, it can start to reduce. Also, by doing this, it can actually start to reduce neuroplastic pain and mind-body concerns. So, let's get into it. So often, we do everything we can to get rid of our anxiety. And I know for myself, I spent years doing this. The problem is that the more we try to get rid of it, typically the worse it becomes. The reason this occurs is because of the concept, what we resist persists. Basically meaning that the more we resist emotions, anxiety, thoughts, or really anything in life, the longer they'll persist. I know lots of people want the magic skill to get rid of their anxiety. And there are good skills out there, such as challenging and changing thoughts, or breathing exercises. But if we want our anxiety to reduce consistently, what we need to do is stop trying to force it to go away. I know years ago, I became anxious about my sleep, and I got into this really bad cycle where as evening approached, I would become more and more anxious. And then I would try and force myself to not be anxious because I was convinced I wouldn't fall asleep unless I was calm and relaxed. Now the problem was the more that I tried to force my anxiety to go away, the more anxious I became. So how did I get over my sleep anxiety? I worked at actually becoming friends with my anxiety. So basically, whenever my anxiety was at a mild to moderate level, I would do the following. I would gently approach my anxiety, and with each exhale, I would practice sinking a little bit closer to the sensations. I then connected to how anxiety actually felt in my body and would explore the sensations. For myself, this looked like tingliness, sweatiness, or tension in my chest. If you want more of an idea of how anxiety actually can present in the body, you can check out my last video on anxiety, which I'll link to the top here. Next, I would validate my anxiety. Because if we keep invalidating our anxiety or our emotions and tell ourselves that we shouldn't feel this way, it will cause us to feel unsafe in our body with them. So I would validate them and tell myself that it makes sense that I feel this way based off everything that's happened in my life up until this point. And I'd remind myself that other people feel this way too. Then I would give myself messages of safety about my anxiety, which comes from Pain Reprocessing Therapy. So I tell myself that this anxiety is just sensations in my body, and that they're temporary, and that they're eventually gonna pass. Finally, I would radically accept that I was feeling anxious right now. I didn't approve of it, I didn't approve of the anxiety, but I would radically accept that it was present and it was here. And then I'd work at more fully allowing myself to feel anxious. Now you'll likely notice that at first it's really hard to attend to anxiety in our body when we're not used to doing this. So I always recommend to clients doing it for briefer, shorter periods at first. Now, also if the anxiety becomes too intense, we can always shift to a neutral or pleasant sensation in our body, as this can create a sense of safety. So I thought I would go through an example meditation that I use to befriend my anxiety. And you'll notice it has a lot of similarities to somatic tracking for pain. So I should note again that this meditation is really only meant for when our anxiety is at a mild to moderate level. It's never meant to be used when the anxiety is really high, or say we're in the middle of a panic attack, because that will be too intense and too hard for us to feel safe with the sensations and be able to befriend them. So only do this if it's at a mild to moderate level. So we can begin by closing our eyes or lowering our gaze, and just start off by focusing on your breathing. Breathing deeply into your stomach and making that exhale very long and light. Just for a moment, following the rhythm of your breathing, in and out. Just nice, slow breathing. And when you're ready, you can scan your body and just check in to notice where you can feel the anxiety, where it presents. Is it tightness in your chest? Is it your heart beating quickly? Is your stomach feeling kind of like it has butterflies in it? Just notice where it is. And as you breathe, each time you exhale, practice sinking towards the sensation. Just nice and slow. Just be gentle. Gently approaching the sensation wherever you feel it in your body. And now, take a moment to explore it. Explore what anxiety feels like in your body. Really exploring it, noticing what's happening with it, breathing nice and slow with it, and just being curious. Just being curious and interested in how anxiety is presenting for you. With each exhale, see if you can approach it a little bit more. And just check in. Notice, has it increased? Has it decreased? Has it moved or changed in any way? Again, it doesn't matter. We're just working at befriending it right now. We don't need it to go away. And as you do this, just make sure you give your brain the message that it's valid that you feel this way. It's completely valid and it's okay. Other people would feel this way too if they've experienced what you've experienced in your life up until this point. So just keep breathing nice and slow as you take a quiet moment to validate your anxiety. And now, just remind yourself that these are just sensations. They're just sensations in the body, and we're okay to sit with them, and that they're actually completely safe. As human beings, we're meant to feel anxious sometimes. We're meant to feel these sensations. And it's okay that they're there, and that they're going to be temporary. They're not going to last forever. Just breathing lightly, checking in again, noticing what's the anxiety doing. Has it increased? Has it decreased? Has it moved or changed in any way? Again, it doesn't matter so much. We're just practicing observing it this way. I explain it to people, it's very much like jellyfish in the water. The waves are kind of like our emotions or our anxiety. They're always changing. And we want to attend to the waves of anxiety, just like jellyfish do. They don't put up much resistance. They accept that sometimes the waves are really rough, and they just float along with it. Not too much resistance. Plus, jellyfish, I think, are pretty majestic in terms of being creatures. So just practice floating along with the anxiety, accepting that it's there, and just seeing if you can allow it to occur. Allow it to take place as you breathe nice and slowly with it, and remind yourself you're completely safe to attend to it. Just check in once again. Notice what the anxiety's been doing. Has it increased? Has it decreased? Has it moved or changed? Again, it doesn't matter. We're just slowly working on befriending our anxiety in the body. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes and return to the room. So I hope this video was helpful in explaining why we need to befriend our anxiety and how we can go about doing that. So please put your questions or comments down below, hit the like button, and if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you all next time. Take care.